Hello guys, welcome back. I'll make one of those videos. It's gonna lose me a lot of subs, but I'm too old to care at this point. And that's actually what I want to talk about. Can you reach an age where you're just too old for Loki? And people in their 20s have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. People in their 40s and on, you're like, It's come, has it? I've noticed as I've been working with Odin, Loki's been pulling away. And I've noticed Loki's been pulling away, and he does tend to go on walkabout, but this has been different. You won't know this until you're my age, and you just won't. But sometimes he looks at you really sad, like, why can't you play the way you played 20 years ago? Because I'm in my fucking 40s, that's why. He's perpetually youthful. He's Peter Pan. He's never gonna have to grow up. He's never gonna have to handle some of the shit that Odin has to handle. He's the god of being childish at times. Being childlike is good, being childish is not. And he'd been pulling away, and he does have a mean streak. He has a vicious, petty streak. And he had been pushing dumb stuff in my face. And he went too far. He's been pushing. Sometimes he likes to push Rockstar right in your face and show how popular he is. And show how many young people are following him. And he does it in this mean-spirited way that lets you know that he has all these people. And maybe you aren't that important. Now that's something you have to deal with when you deal with a popular god. But only Loki will make a thing out of it. And it was not the right time. I've been handling very heavy issues with Odin. Odin and I have been going through real heavy issues. We've been going back through the lore, and we've been having serious discussions. As I said, I don't want to be misled. I always believe you find the truth, no matter how much the truth hurts, and you suck it up and you deal with the truth. I said, really, we have nothing in the lore to support this idea that Loki is Odin's brother. Don't blame me. We really don't have any support for that it's Loki, Honir, Odin. And Odin and I have been having discussions about this. We don't have, historically speaking, anything to associate Loki with fire. Can gods change and pick up things? Yeah, they can, but Odin and I were having a discussion, and you can't have this discussion with Loki. Loki's not mature enough to handle this discussion. He likes to think he is, but he's not. And I said, there are days when I just look at all this, and I think Loki just conned a lot of us into working with him. Because, that outlook is out there. When you start studying heathenry, especially, and I've been studying it the last couple years, most heathens do not like Loki. I know young people think everybody that's heathen likes all these gods. There are heathens that hate Loki with a passion because they see him as having betrayed the gods. They hate his children. They think that they're monsters that are going to end the world. And then there are people that hate Odin because of all the despicable things Odin has done, all the times he's broken his oaths, all the times he's done terrible things. And then there's that rape incident that nobody likes to talk about, but it happened. And with Odin, I don't have to try to put a happy, sunny, smiley face on things. That Odin has done what Odin has done, Odin accepts. And again, we have to remember our lore is very old and seriously outdated if you're going to try to apply it to modern times. But we were having that discussion. I said, I know why Loki did it. I know exactly why Loki did it. I've been working with him for decades. He will start something. He will initiate contact with another god for you. He will be so proud and running around and beaming because you are working with this other god, and this is what Loki did. Then, when you find parts of you can relate to this other god far better than they do to Loki, and I relate to Odin far better because Odin has been through a lot, and Odin just has a certain mindset that I can appreciate. Loki got jealous. Loki got very jealous. And Loki says, I'm supposed to be your patron, and Loki threw a hissy fit, and that's why he did the mean and cruel things he's done lately. And I understand that. I understand him quite well as a god, but I said, I understand you. I know why you did it. In your mind, somehow this works out as love because you felt neglected and you wanted me to see you're special. And if you can do stuff ass backwards and be your own worst enemy, you will. I said, but Loki, I'm simply too old for you now. I said, I'm too old for your shit. This was cute when I was a child and cute in my 20s. I said, I'm in my 40s now. I'm just too old for your shit. I'm sorry, but I can't deal with you anymore. And I tried to give him a lovely and loving sending off. And he didn't take it well. And his brothers did try to, and I say brothers with ear closed because I do have my doubts, tried to stand up for him. And I had a talk with Segan. And I had, the talks with the children, and the children are more mature than Loki is. Fimber was, who didn't see this coming, and Hell and Jormungandr were of the same mind. Angrboda didn't care. I said, Angrboda, I honestly don't know how you put up with his shit for as long as you, have. She says, well, I hardly see him. I said, that explains a lot, actually. Loki will always be the most youthful god in the pantheon. He'll always have that childlike aspect. And I said, I don't have time for your shit. I tried to work with Lord Hermes for a while, and that didn't work either because for a while it's cute and charming, and then your old ass just don't want somebody perpetually zooming around you, and you're tired of this shit. And you get to that age, and everybody gets to that age at a different stage. I was old at 10. I was old at 10 and tired of this real shit. So I've been old for decades. I can't imagine what I'm going to be like when I'm in my 80s. Probably won't last that long, but I can't imagine because I'm already old and wish the world would fuck off now. So Odin and I have been talking about it. And Loki, of course, is trying to get my good graces. Songs are popping up. He turned on his own altar lights because I didn't turn on his altar lights this morning. I did light his box over there because Odin said, you still have to try to honor him. And Loki last night was convinced I'm sick. He says, there's just something wrong with you. There's just something wrong with you. We'll figure this out. I'll help you. And it felt like we had resolved it last night, but I'm going through that cycle where I resolve stuff at night. I wake up the next morning, I'm like, nah. So I went out and I filmed in the snow, and I filmed last night, and I just said, to Odin, I said, I want, at this point in my life, I want a god that's quiet and steady and will push me when I need pushed and is mature and can teach me. I said, the problem with Loki is that you have this perpetual idea in the back of your head that he doesn't do a damn thing except for eat food and be adored. I said, I can't really look at any point in my life and say Loki gave that to me. And I said, I'm thinking, the only people who worship Loki, hear me out on this, that when I came in, I'd always been working with Loki, but the ones I found online were extremists. And we know who they are. They've written a lot of books and they do these really extreme videos. I said, I don't know if that's how the idea of modern Loki worship started. Or how it started. And I said, I just need time to sort this all out. And we should start sorting things out. And I said to Odin, I said, there are these days where the Christian church can appeal to you because they at least halfway try to respect their elders. Now, I don't think it's a magical world because I've been in enough churches in my life, but they at least put on the pretense. Where with young witches and pagans today, they studied one book for 1 week and they're fucking expert and they're going to tell you how to do your shit. And you've literally been practicing magic before they were born. And can we see why I'm going to Odin? And so it's just a lot of stuff I'm going to have to deal with. Sometimes Loki just goes way too far. And he can't be forgiven, and you shouldn't always forgive him. Then he learns absolutely nothing in his relationship with you, and he continues to walk all over you. He's trying to be nice, he's trying to make up, and I've just thought, you know what? I can't. at this point in my life, put up with a God that has tweens and teens and young people all thronging around him and adoring him. I'm finding myself gravitating to gods like Apollo, who does attract a lot of young people, but is actually mature and actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Apollo's been called the god of adulting. Odin is another god of adulting. Loki is the god of let everybody else do the hard work and just go around being clever, and I think I reached the end of the point where that is charming, even a little bit. I'm not going to say the channel is going to shut down, but I do need time off to think about this, because Loki can sometimes be a lot more trouble than he's worth. And he apologized, as he always does. I said, you know what, I've just been hearing these apologies for decades. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done. You'll never grow up. You'll never be mature. And I'm starting to face things in my life, you know, as you hit your 40s, your body really starts to change. It's starting in your 30s, it really starts to change in your 40s. I said, I can't see a god who's perpetually young, even though he can appear older, understanding and having empathy. Odin, on the other hand, will tell your old ass, yes, you're old, but get the fuck out of bed anyhow, princess. We're going outside and we're doing shit today. So I appreciate it. Odin won't lie. Loki will lie to you and be like, oh, but you're so young. Odin's like, no, of course you're old. You're in your 40s. Shit, people thousands of years ago would have been dead by now. Good for you, you're old. And that's it. I am old. It starts in your 30s. They start calling you ma'am. And the first time it happens, you think it's a mistake. And that just keeps happening. And online, you start getting called grandma and all this other shit, which is why you won't actually find most pagans my age and up online, because eventually your goodwill towards the rest of humanity just runs out, because children are being children and you've had enough of this shit. And it doesn't matter if it's only 5 children out of 5 million. Those 5 little fuckers will end your patience forever. It's like, you know, you finally understand why there are those old people that yell at the kids to stay off their damn lawn. It's not the 5,000 children in the area that aren't on their lawn. It's those 2 little shits that come on the lawn and break stuff and finally break you, make you hate old children. It's just a thought. I've been like that since I was a child. When I was a child, I hated children. I didn't have the fucking patience. I've always been old. So, I don't know. I just don't have the patience for Loki's bullshit right now. I did film a ton in the snow, and I didn't like most of what I did. I'm just really pissed off and in a bad mood, but I think you can tell. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know I have to work that out to my own satisfaction, and I'm past the age of just loyally jumping to Loki's side without facts and proof. I like to know the answer. And if I go seriously based on our scripture, scripture or writings, I don't have an answer. And there will never be an answer until I accept one thing or another. And Odin and Honir will stand up for Loki. They'll treat him as a brother. But at the same time, I said, you don't have to treat me as a child anymore. If this isn't so, I'm fine, I can deal with it. If I shouldn't be working with Loki, if this is a thing I shouldn't be doing. Because 1, I'm too damn old at this point, and 2, it's just not conducive to growing, then I will make that sacrifice. Odin's definitely the god of sacrifice. He's definitely the god of pushing yourself. And I've definitely been getting visions and dreams where I'm going to Odin's side, and Loki's never there. So I think they're changing the guards, and Loki's making this harder than it has to be, because he was having a good time pulling away and giving me to Odin. But when I agreed with him, suddenly it was devastating and horrible, and how could I agree to let him go? I said, I can just feel it. I said, you pull back your energy, you pull back your affection. I said, you're only being affectionate now because you're frightened and you don't want to be abandoned. I said, you have throngs of people to worship you. You will always attract young people. If humans are alive 1,000,000 years from now and they still know of you, you will be attracting young people. You will always have young people. I said that you intentionally push older people away is not my problem. It's just your divine nature. So, and I'm not picking on Loki here. There's a story about Apollo that he fell in love with a woman, with a princess, I believe it was, and he wanted to marry her, and she had a human suitor. And he was reasonable and calm enough that he said, you can make your pick. And she said she chose the human, and he was hurt, but he said, why would you choose the human? She says, well, gods are fickle. She says, I know you're in love with me now that I'm young and beautiful, but as I get older, you won't love me anymore. And she said, it's just your nature. You will go towards the youth and go towards the beautiful people. Once I'm older, you'll no longer love me as a wife, and I want someone to love me. And he didn't protest. Paulo knows his own nature. He tends to surround himself with younger people as well. But at the same time, he can talk to older, mature people. It's just he's not going to come over and be charming, Apollo, with older people. He's going to treat you as the older person you are. He doesn't give you any illusions of having perpetual youth. I think seeing people get older frightens Loki on some level. I don't think Loki likes the concept of death. I really don't think he does. He's more god of life. Where Odin is most definitely death, and he shows up every day and he whispers in your ear, one day, you're one day closer. And we both laugh. But, I don't want you guys to think I'm disrespecting Loki. I think you come through different gods in your life, and I think Loki has been doing everything in his power to show me it's time for a transition. But being Loki, he's supposed to be endlessly adaptable until the point where he's not. And then he's just hurt and confused and scared. I get that, and he's welcome in the house. But I said, I think you know that you and I have come to the end. You've been showing it to me, and you've been showing it to me, and now that I've accepted it, you're freaking out, but it's okay. He can go be off with the young people, be perpetually adored, and be forever young, because that's him. I said, 20 isn't going to understand it until 20 is 40. Then 40 is going to be like, damn, I thought I knew everything. And I'm wise enough to know that I don't know shit compared to what I'm going to know in my 60s or my 80s. I think I know it all now because this is the oldest I've ever been. And that's one of the flaws in humans, isn't it? So, it's just food for thought. I always believe in doing the right thing, even if it's not the popular thing. But if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when things are taken over by certain segments and you no longer feel comfortable or welcome. I can't even go on Pinterest now. Pinterest used to be for old ladies with nothing much to do. Now it's all tweens and dweebs, and old people don't have a place to go. Really don't. Unless we start carrying guns, then we can take McDonald's back over. But that's food for thought. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. Loki may get himself in my good graces 5 minutes from now, but I think we've reached the end. I think we've reached the end of working together because he's too immature. I love him, and he's good to have around for certain reasons, but once you hit a certain age, it's like he seriously can't relate. At least it's been my experience. If you're older and you say, no, he just has to go through this, I know more than you because I'm in my 60s and I'm still working with him. I welcome your advice, but at this point, I'm like, I'm just too damn old for this shit. I can't stand one more little thing going on. My nerves are gone. And Odin says, well, at least one thing, you were out in high storm winds last night, just angry and talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. So we got something out of this after all. So if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.